Hello. So, final show weekend of the JB season. JB's first season as an actual coach. Just with Mason in, where are we, bro? Rotherham. So we had the pleasure of experiencing Ultraflex yesterday. For those of you who aren't aware, is probably one of the most sought after. Is that the same for it? Sought after. Like one of the best gyms in the UK and the world, realistically. But
just for the caliber of athlete there as well.
yeah, like there's my guy here. You're very familiar with him by now. Just like Ultraflex is just like the Instagram gym, basically the Banus of the UK. But yeah, look, I put on my story yesterday actually, and it's not that. There's bits of equipment that's better than what we have at back home Planet Fitness, but it's really not that much different. If anything, Planet's bigger, but obviously the environment is what makes it so special. So yeah, that was that. Mason had his tan last night. Wasn't planning on doing a video, to be honest. I would have booked Jackie otherwise, but I just thought, you know what, it's the final kind of show weekend. After taking you through pretty much every show, I think, from the PCA Saxon, which I competed in, which Jack filmed, I think, and then the NABA, which I competed in, and we also had Mason in. That was his first show with myself. We then had Mason on the 7th of June, so obviously it's was it 3rd, 5th of July now? It's about 4 or 5 weeks ago that was. And we've actually had back-to-back show days since the start of July, since the start of June, which has been pretty exhausting, but very, very good experience. And I just love a show weekend. Even though the work that's required going into it is a lot, especially leading into it, this one's been sweet because I've got all the previous data of Mace, and I haven't had tanning, which is actually quite nice. Didn't have to drive, which is actually quite nice. It's just been a nice little weekend away, to be honest, and I think I can probably prep Mason with my eyes closed now. So hopefully I don't have to eat my hat this afternoon when things don't go to plan, but I'm sure they will. But yeah, this is probably the most competitive show he's going to be doing. It's been a bit frustrating because obviously you have not really had anyone to compete against in a lot of shows, have you? No. Yeah, so as I was saying before the autofocus fucked off, he's been a little bit frustrated in some of the shows because there's been no one in his class. We got the first place, of course, but it's not a true first place, is it? Because despite it being you versus you, you need people to compare yourself to ultimately to see where you stand. And that was the beauty of the last show in Hampshire, which the video's on the channel of, where I just seen him come, you were really pissed off when you seen there was no one in your class. And it was a smaller show, in all fairness. We kind of expected it, as a number one, a first timer. Well, he wasn't a first timer, sorry, but his first season, but also as a junior. Already, that's kind of narrowed down the pool of people that could potentially compete. Coupled then with the fact that, what was this? Men's league. So, generally speaking, it's quite a niche category of people that can enter. Arguably, men's physique, it is more so at the entry level into bodybuilding, but at the same time, there's usually more people in the bodybuilding classes from what we've seen in classic classes and things like that. But today is going to be a lot more boys we've seen at the gym yesterday doing juniors, and it'll be a good challenge nonetheless. And I just seen this is whole persona and character on stage come out and come alive last weekend, or not last weekend, the Hampshire show, when he was in the overall, purely because he had people to actually compete against, and that's what it's about. So that was sweet, and today's going to be just as sweet. So with the boy now, as I said, we didn't really plan on doing a video as such today, but I think it's good for me to kind of recap and summarise how things have gone. Obviously working closely with a lot of the boys this year. It's very different prep coaching to general lifestyle coaching. As great as the lifestyle coaching is and as detailed as that can be, being as frequently in contact with the lads in person, which again isn't a requirement, but it's something that I've learned, especially with coaching with Jay, how valuable it is and how much it helps seeing the boys. And sometimes they won't let on as to how they may be feeling, maybe struggling. You can kind of read that if you see him in person. I've had to say to him a couple of times, bro, just fucking tell me how are you doing?
Yeah.
Not, because he won't ultimately, and he'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, which is good, but sometimes it can be of detriment. So that's something we kind of pulled back on the last like 2 weeks ish, after a decent stint of fat loss after the last show. And for someone like Mace, who is, ultimately wants to just keep pushing, keep working, and it's a trait that's displayed in guys who do well typically, but a lot of the time they need to be told to relax, pull back, and that's quite a difficult job to kind of call the shots with as a coach, but something that comes with experience, when you learn from. So we did that, and again, one of the key things I think, because obviously you came and seen me one day last week, you didn't really felt a bit watery and stuff.
Yeah.
That was expected. Like, we needed to be watery to an extent at that point. It was in the afternoon, he was eating more food than ever, but I think it's easy to kind of associate looking your best and feeling your best after digging for a prolonged period with feeling shit. And because he didn't necessarily feel as shit because he was eating over 3,000 calories a day, not doing cardio, you can feel a little bit sedentary, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And obviously we just had to kind of review that. I said, look, this is you. I've actually put a photo on the screen. This was your flattest check-in after we dropped X amount of weight in, a week. To yesterday's check-in, where there's actually a 10-pound increase in body weight. Made you look better, do you know what I mean? So sometimes how you feel will actually skew your perspective on how you look. And that's why working with the coach is great, because you will have prep goggles on, yeah? But I just brought Mace here now really to, number one, give you a break from this bald head, and number two, just ask him to quickly summarise really how, because this guy's done close to as many shows as me, yeah? And this is his first season. I've not done loads, of course, but generally speaking, like with most of the boys in under my coaching this year, they've done a show, which is still a phenomenal achievement. Mason's done, this is our fourth one, right?
Fourth one, yeah.
Which is, a unique experience, because we've had the opportunity to rectify previous, not mistakes, but things we've trialed, and we've, oh shit, we've almost, not found the recipe, if you like, but we know what brings the best for him, and it's not necessarily the big full look. It's a slightly flatter, crisper look, which we've achieved and we've done time and time again. And we're going to play that card again today. So, yeah, basically, bro, no pressure. Just like, how are you feeling? Like, obviously, because it's a difficult one on prep, isn't it?
Yeah, you touched on it where I always correlate to looking better as feeling worse. So, having Jack there to say to me, bro, calm the fuck down. Do you know what I mean? You need to take a step back because you feel like shit, but you're not necessarily looking your best. Although I feel like I was definitely thinking to myself, I feel like I look better when I feel worse, and that's just because in prep, that usually is the case when you are coming down. But you get to a point where you'll definitely see diminishing returns.
Yeah.
And you'll come to the point where your body's just fighting back. And I think there's having Jack there and having a coach there to say, hold tight, rest day there, we need more food there to bring back to life.
So 3 days rest last week.
Yeah, which is the most rest I've had before show, and I think it's definitely benefited me.
You needed that.
Needed it, yeah, mentally, like, because we had a massive drop, couple of days of dropping.
It was boiling weather as well.
Boiling weather,
You were
yeah.
up fucking 20-foot poles at work.
Yeah, it battered me a bit, so.
But this is a thing, like when it comes to, obviously Mason's been coaching for over a year now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And going, a decent roster of clients.
Yeah.
But he is now so well equipped to help these lads, and in some cases girls, when they're going through not just a diet, but an extreme diet such as prep, and also, the other end of the spectrum where he's done a push-up phase, he's got Fluffy, he knows what it feels like to have to shove a lot of food in, and he's just better equipped, and it's not just the experience he's had from the stage. Again, what are you, 23? 23. When's your birthday?
It's October.
Yeah. You're not junior anymore next year.
No, thank God.
But he's done it all, as a junior, so it's awesome to see, and like I said, he's learned a lot from the experience, but it's also been great for me, because a lot of the time, shouldn't be the case when it comes to especially prepping for shows, but you have almost got to read between the lines with guys and question whether what you're putting into their plan whether that's food, whether that's sups, whether that's water intake, salt. There's so many things that need to be like black and white, cannot be missed. And a lot of the time it's quite difficult, especially at my level, which obviously is just like an entry level, if you like, coaching guys to the first shows. You've got to be on top of that shit, because ultimately people will slack with it. But the reason I mention this is because whatever I've put in for Mace has been followed. Whatever I've done, he's made sure is on point. For example, what was it? Like his meals yesterday, for example, like he's on the money with the timings, the water. You know, I said, how much water have you had so far? He said, oh, I've had, you know, almost half of it before the drive, because he knew he'd be pissing a lot on the drive or not having time to drink it or whatever. So, you know, planning ahead, and it just takes someone willing to learn and someone willing to listen. You know, he's never once, as far as I know, gone against what I've said. You know, he's gone to Dubai, he's gone to, where else did we go? Holiday somewhere? London, you know, so we haven't necessarily been in the most optimal and controlled environment to prep, but we've worked it, you know, we've worked around it, and you know, hopefully next time we won't have to deal with that, because it does throw a little bit of a spanner in the works with slightly different foods and fly-in, water retention, this and that. It's testing, bro. And if it wasn't, like for example with me, when I was prepping myself, you know, there was arguably some slightly harder clients to coach. And if I had not approached or experienced those scenarios, and it was just all fucking bliss and easy, and, you know, not to say it's been easy with us, but we've not really been challenged. We've had to, you know, change things along the way, but there's not been any
communication again, though. That is
again, yeah. Everything can be brought from communication. But if you hadn't gone through those problem-solving moments, then when they do come later down the line, you're going to be like, what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean? So it's been a very, very learning experience for me as well, which is cool. But yeah, the reason I'm dragging this bit out, or at least talking a bit here, is because Two Bros, unfortunately, do not, which is the federation is doing today, they're not very welcoming of media, which I get, because they've got their own media guy. But this vid will probably just be outside the arena, maybe a little bit on his, hopefully a little bit on stage if I can sneak the camera, and a bit of Mason posing, little summary after it. We are actually with Jeff and Mason's brother-in-law Max too, but they are serious bodybuilders and actually gone to train this morning. Me and him just do it for the gram, so I'm sat here with a monster and yeah, just chilling, man. But no, they've gone to Rotherham gym, Ultraflex, as I mentioned. So they'll be joining us later as well. So you're also going to Spain or Dubai? Ibiza. He's going to Ibiza when?
Next Wednesday coming up.
Wednesday. And that's another thing. We will be checking in every day from today, as we have done for the last 5 weeks.
Bro, yeah.
I think that's been another very
it's a massive thing, that is.
valuable thing for him. Simply WhatsApp check-ins, bold text, Mason's check-in today, yesterday's body weight, today's body weight, how you're looking, what's changed, what cardio we've done, today's plan, tomorrow's plan. Very black and white, which for some, you know, people will be like, oh, that's not enough detail, there's not enough interaction.
For me, it's perfect.
It's what he needs, and probably something we'll continue with, at least in the format of that. Because it's straight to the point, no bullshit. This is what needs to be done, this is what we're doing next, you know, and that's all it takes. So we'll continue with that after the show. I'm probably going into the off season, just because of how valuable it is. And you know, you can't, you know, it's like, for example, with Jade recently, I've not been on my own shit as well as I could be recently, right? Because I've had other priorities, okay? Sounds like an excuse, maybe it is, who knows? But ultimately, I've said, mate, can we check in twice a week now? You know, we're in off season. The 6-7 days between each check-in, if you're doing once weekly, it can be a long time, especially when you've gone from daily check-ins, you know, so you're checking in, you know, just over 10% as often as you would be.
The accountability change is quite high, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you can't fucking miss, bro. We can do, oh yeah, bro, by the way, yesterday I missed. And then the next day I missed. Next day I missed. You can't do it. You can, but, you know, it's not going to get you far. So, yeah, just removing the kind of, or lowering the time between check-ins, I think is quite good. And yeah, like I said, I didn't expect to do any of this. It's just what we feel has come natural. And to be totally honest and transparent, like, I didn't really know an awful lot going into this prep. Maybe I did, but I didn't think I did. And ultimately, it's just been a case of, right, what am I seeing in front of me? What have been done for the last 4 or 5 days? What needs to be done to bring a better look? And it's simply just analysing what you're seeing. And by no means am I any expert, but I'm definitely more prepared now, knowing what does what, knowing when to use water, when to cut, little things, which I'm probably going to need even more of now going forward. But the things I didn't know before this prep, yeah? And it's about making sure, just keeping things simple, do you know what I mean? We've not done nothing crazy.
No.
Well, no, we haven't done anything crazy. Yeah, boy's going to start growing next week then. A little bit of a health phase, and I just want him to have a nice, mental break. Even though he's not complained about struggling at all, like, when you're in the thick of it, you can't see it yourself. You simply can't. You might think, yeah, I'm chill. Ultimately, if you're sleeping not as well as you could be, that in itself is going to have, a compounding effect as the weeks and months go on. Sorting that out first is always my main priority with everybody coming off a prep, because I know how impactful that is for myself. Have a little clear out, rebuild on potentially relationships with your partner, with your family, getting some form of normality in place, wake up times, bed times, meal timings, curbing that appetite, making sure you've got enough food in to recover and just focus cognitively, and then we can obviously get to work with the next kind of growth period. So going to do a bit of pausing outside now, and yeah, man, just enjoy the day.
Fucking right, son.
My brother.
Man, yeah, poor guy.
Yeah. Shoulders down. Driving down the right one. Yes, sir. Sorry, not as low as that. My bad hours. Press on hard. I can't believe how hard that was for me to do yesterday.
And that's literally just your routine. That's it. Yeah, that's routine as well.
Steps. Do it.
My routine is the literally rotation.
Row hard and all day. More. Yep. Drop the right one. There we go. Abs all the way now. Much better control, bro. Nice, man. Yo, so it's now been an hour since we last spoke. See Mason posing. JB in the house. Yeah. Yo. We got Mr. Max Garland, the Stairmaster King himself, looking swole, eating his, what we got, boy?
70 grams oats.
Well, it was 70 grams, but he had a munch this morning.
45 gram oats now.
So yeah, the boys have trained, looking swole as fuck. I'm still drinking my Monster, and then probably go about 9, is it?
Yeah.
About 9 o'clock, shoot over, get Mason's top coat on, top up his sides. What's that, your vape? It's there?
Oh no.
Do you vape?
The fake loss.
Um,
They've got a Viva on here, though.
Huh?
They've got a Viva on here, though.
So yeah, we'll see what Ultraflex once again. Come on! Here we have it then. Boys just dropped us off. Jeff's off to get some cash out for a ticket. And Mason's having his top coat of Tampa on now. So thankfully it's not too hot because he'd be dripping otherwise, unlike last weekend. But yeah, here we are. And we'll shortly be going backstage. He'll be cabbing up and ready to have a little dance.
Next up, welcoming back on stage our junior competitors, 36 Karandeep Singh and 39 Mason Rogers. Can we please give that silver place medal to number 36 Karandeep Singh. And your junior winner, number 39, Mason Rogers.
Yes, Mace!
And just the winner on his own, please. Thank you, Mason.
Yo, there we have it then. 2026 season's come to an end. We're in Abergavenny, Waitrose with the G himself. First place in juniors men's physique. Actually had some competition this time, which was nice. And
Fucking serious competition in the open then as well.
Yeah.
Fucking monsters.
There were some really big guys in the open. So yeah, just gonna conclude the show day video here. There we go. Been a great season. 4 first places. I'd even think like you even had some, you know, experienced bodybuilders, pros speak to him today, and what do they say to you? Best junior they've seen. So we'll take that. We'll take that. Even if people did turn up the other shows, we know we would have done very well. So I've talked about it before, where we've improved each show, and how this one was going to probably be the hardest one to improve on because of the improvements made between the other shows. But we definitely did that, didn't we? Absolutely smashed it. So didn't miss at all. Yeah, very good. He's got a bit of sushi tonight in there.
Sushi tonight, yeah. All little stomach though, with berries and bits.
Yeah, he's
Like trying out some cream rice then.
couldn't eat it. That's because Jeff made it. But yeah, he's got Ibiza on Wednesday as well, haven't he? So we're going to keep things nice and tidy up until then. Checking in tomorrow, and the Ibiza peak is on. So thanks for watching. Shout out Max for driving. And he's got his sushi, so he's happy. But well, sushi round 1. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this season, and see you at the Olympia 2028.
2028.
Peace.